Hello there, Roster Watch Nation. It's your friendly neighborhood Trashman, back for another Best Ball Mania 3 draft. So I'm going to go ahead and enter this contest. If you're following along at home, feel free to join in with me. We're still waiting for 11 people, so probably be a few minutes before this gets going. And if you are playing along at home, you'll be able to join in. So we've got a lot of spaces available. So now waiting for just 5 more people using Best Ball Cheat Sheet 8.0 from monsterwatch.com. So just waiting for 3 people now. So the draft starts in 45 seconds. I'm picking from the 3 spot. That is Murphy alerting me that the draft is starting. First pick, and there we are. Christian McCaffrey. It's an easy one for me. Austin Eckler just went. One of the good things about drafting someone like a Christian McCaffrey is that you can make a stack, a Carolina stack, really easily. One of the bad things about drafting from the three spot is that you could wait a while in between picks. CeeDee Lamb just went after Devontae Adams. First tight end off the board, Travis Kelsey. DeAndre Swift. I think we're getting value on. He's going to be a PPR monster this season. Still 6 picks away. Well, I was going to say maybe I'll get Mark Andrews for once. Not going to happen. Love to get Alvin Kamara here. Come on, let me get him. Let me get him. Roddy Rudy is keeping me in suspense here. I can see auto drafted Alvin Kamara. Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill. I haven't really gotten much exposure to Tyreek Hill in these best ball drafts. So, why not? Why not? So, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill to start. 4 more picks before I draft again. See who falls. I'd love to be able to get A.J. Brown. But if not, I think Michael Pittman or Kyle Pitts would be a nice consolation prize. So no Kyle Pitts. But still got a shot at A.J. Brown. We'll see. This guy's gotten 2 wide receivers already. So what are the chances he gets another one? Okay, so it goes to Travis Etienne. So there, I'm going to go with A.J. Brown here. So the team thus far: Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown. Pretty sick if you ask me. So now's the time where I would start thinking about making a stack from the players, from at least one of the players I've picked from. And we make stacks. If you haven't seen one of these before or been a part of one of these, kind of large field drafts before, we do that to increase our chances of winning in these really large field tournaments. Stacking is the way to go. So with the teams that we've drafted from so far, it's actually going to be pretty easy to make stacks because we're drafting. We have to choose from Carolina, Miami, Philadelphia. Philadelphia will be the hardest stack to make just because Jalen Hurts will be the most difficult quarterback to get there. But we can make a Miami stack really easily or a Carolina stack really easily. So 7 picks away. Let me see where I'd need to take Jalen Hurts to get him. I mean, I might not need to take him with this next pick, but I'd need to take him probably on the turn right after in order to make that Philadelphia stack. Which I think I might. It's because I have yet to make a Philadelphia stack in one of these best ball tournament drafts. So, but before I would take Hurts, I think Darren Waller would be a nice option or George Kittle. The stack to make might be for Philadelphia. It might be to make a Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Dallas Goddard stack. It's probably the stack to make. So 3 picks away. Leading up to that, there's some other options. I have James Conner, Brees Hall. I don't know. All this news out of New York that he and he's splitting carries. It's going to be a 1A, 1B kind of situation there with Michael Carter. Or at least that's the way it looks like it's going to start out the season. So that being the case, I think I might take a Darren Waller, or I could take. So there's actually quite a few guys I like around here. But yeah, I've yet to get Darren Waller in one of these drafts. But I'm going to go ahead and get Brandon Cooks instead. Just because I think I'm going to try to go for this Philadelphia stack and get Dallas Goddard as my tight end. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on Brandon Cooks. Cam Akers just went. I don't know. As much as I want to love Cam Akers, I just don't. And news that Sean McVay sees Akers and Henderson is kind of like both starting running backs in his offense. I don't like the sound of that one bit. Two more picks before I go again. So I think I'm just going to take Hurts with this pick and work on that Philly stack. Although I could take Darren Waller here and then potentially maybe get Hurts with my next pick. Is that a possibility? Is that a possibility? Oh, it seems unlikely, but it could happen. Should I live on the edge? Should I try it? So I could get Waller and Goddard potentially? No, I'm just going to get Hurts. Okay. So the team thus far, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey running back, 3 wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, and Brandon Cooks. It's not quite a zero running back approach, but it's not far from it. So 15 picks away. Let's see some guys who might be available around then. I mean, A.J. Dillon, David Montgomery, Elijah Mitchell. I would be happy with any of them as my second back here. Amari Cooper, I mean, his quarterback situation is not ideal, but he's going to get a ton of targets. So I really want to get a running back with my next pick before this Tony Pollard, Chase Edmonds, Clyde Edwards-Helaire range. I really like to get somebody ahead of that. I mean, I guess I would even be okay with Josh Jacobs. But we're hoping for A.J. Dillon, David Montgomery, Elijah Mitchell to fall in these next 13 picks. Because I really think they're kind of in a separate tier from the next group up. So Darren Waller finally went. I might have been able to get him and Jalen Hurts, but I decided to go a safe route or safer route. 8 picks away. So Dillon, Montgomery, and Mitchell are still on the board. Oh, spoke too soon. Mitchell is off the board, 7 picks away. And so we're hoping for Dillon or Montgomery. As I think they're kind of a step up from this next group. Chase Edmonds seems to be getting more action than we thought he might in this Miami backfield. It looks like he might be an actual kind of bell cow back. Miles Sanders there later. I could make a stack there. I could kind of pivot from the Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown Hurts stack and do a Sanders Brown Hurts stack. Though I like some of these running backs more than Sanders. It's the way he's been performing right now. It doesn't look like he's going to be playing many third downs at all for Philadelphia. So David Montgomery's the only back left to that tier that I wanted to get my next running back in. We'll see if he falls for some reason. This guy has 3 running backs already, so I'm guessing he's not going to take another one. But we shall see. And then the 2 guys after him both have 2 running backs already. So, yeah, Dylan all day. Unfortunately, doesn't look like we're going to get him. Somebody took Jacobs. So I'm hoping Montgomery will fall here. I think he's going to get a ton of touches in a bad Chicago offense. Or at least a bad passing offense. Okay, so there we go. Was able to get Montgomery. So running backs right now, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, quarterback Jalen Hurts, wide receivers Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks. So I'm going to see where Dallas Goedert falls. Really, it's the next tight end up. So I might have to reach for him if I want him. If I want to make this stack. So the option there would be to take Goddard or take Sanders and make that stack. I'm thinking I can probably wait for either of them. But do I want to? Is there anybody else that I love? I could get a Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. Actually, maybe I will do that. Just kind of bogart that Philadelphia passing attack. Okay. So the stack I have is Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. And I think that's where I'm going to end that stack. Don't need more week 7 bye, guys. But that does mean that I'm going to have to look for a different tight end. Glad I didn't have to take Miles Sanders. So I would really like if Dameon Pierce fell to me in this next pick. Pierce, Bell indication looks like he could even start the season out as the starting running back for the Texans. He already looks like the best back out there. So I think we'd be getting good value on Pierce if we can get him with this next pick. Because you could say the same about Ramondre Stevenson. We're finding out that they're really liking him as a potential 3rd down back and first 2 down back for the Patriots. I think this could be it's like a Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson offense. I mean, it seems like the best option they have moving forward. Anyway, so we have 11 picks left to go. So I'd be happy taking Ramondre Stevenson or Dameon Pierce with my next pick. But we'll see if that transpires. Well, I could maybe take TJ Hawkinson, the pick after that, although I'd much rather take a Rashad Penny or Robert Woods. Antonio Gibson, I'm going to queue him up just because I think he might fall a bit. and I don't mind taking Gibson at a discount. James Cook, I like, but it looks more and more like this Buffalo backfield is going to be some kind of three-headed monster, and I don't know that I want any part of that. George Pickens looks like a beast. Cordell Patterson hasn't been very sexy pick, but I think he's going to pay off. Maybe get Kenneth Walker if I can't get Rashad Penny. Running backs getting kind of slim after that group. I'll queue up Zach Ertz and Dawson Knox. I probably should take a tight end pretty soon. Okay, one more pick before me. Oh, and Penny just went. I'm going to take Robert Woods here. I think he's going to lead the Titans in receiving this season. Traylon Burks doesn't look like quite the player we thought he would coming out of the draft or going into the draft. For my next pick, I'll probably take another running back here, or I could take a tight end. But I'll probably take a running back. So the team thus far: Jalen Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Smith, Robert Woods. Pretty deep team. And I think I might wait on tight end just because I think there's going to be depth at the tight end position. Could take Miles Sanders and just keep going wild with this Philadelphia stack. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take Cordell Patterson with this next pick. Not a lot of talk coming out of Atlanta about him, but there hasn't been, I guess more importantly, there hasn't been any talk about any other running backs doing anything of note in Atlanta. So it could be another Cordell Patterson season. So having him as my third running back, I'm happy with. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, no, I don't like him this year. I mean, I guess I like him in the sense that they haven't completely moved away from him. And it seems like, well, what I like is that Ronald Jones looks like he isn't panning out in Kansas City at all, really. And so that gives some credence to Clyde Edwards-Helaire being something close to a 1A there, although Isaiah Pacheco is, making a statement for sure that he could be the 1A or 1B. I mean, he's going to get touches. So Ronald Jones, if they cut him, if he doesn't pan out, then I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire a lot more. Just as a prospect in general, I don't love him. I mean, we've seen him the past couple years. We've seen him getting all the opportunities in the world to be the guy in Kansas City, and Jared McKinnon ends up getting the most touches, or being the most valuable fantasy running back down the stretch for Kansas City last year. I mean, it's kind of alarming that Clyde Edwards-Helaire can't take that role with kind of lackluster competition there in Kansas City. So I think he'll get touches this season. He's just not somebody that I'm excited about in fantasy. And part of the deals with fantasy, at least for me, and the other guys might be able to speak to this too, is that you want to be excited about the players that you drafted. And I don't get excited about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So, unless I have to take him, I'm probably not going to. So 6 picks away. All the guys have queued, have kind of dwindled down. So Dawson Knox is really the only player left that had queued up. So it'd be fitting if I could take him with my next pick, but 3 out of the next 4 guys don't have tight ends yet, so we'll see. But after Dawson Knox, Cole Kmet, few picks down. I like Cole Kmet just mainly because there don't really seem to be any pass catchers behind Darnell Mooney in Chicago that are doing anything in this preseason. Or, I went to Chicago, the training camp there, and there wasn't a clear number 2 receiver there behind Darnell Mooney. So I feel like Cole Kmet could be that for the Bears. And so, yeah, I don't love any of these other guys around him. So I don't feel bad about taking Cole Kmet with this next pick. Brian Robinson, he might be somebody interesting to cue in on just because it seems like they're giving him a lot of run with the ones right now. Seems Antonio Gibson is falling out of favor. So at least cue him up. Other guys I like in this area, I mean, Michael Gallup, they didn't put him on the pup list, so maybe he'll come back sooner than we thought. Could go ahead and get Tua here pretty soon, so then I could work on a Miami stack to go with Tyreek Hill. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I think I'm going to take another running back here. Nyheim Hines, I think is going to get a lot of. Ooh. It looks like it slipped away. But I had Michael Gallup queued up. I'm fine with taking him there. And it's probably good I took another wide receiver there just because I hadn't really noticed, but a lot of my wide receivers had either week 6 or 7 buys. Gallup has a week 9 buy. And I think he'll be back before week 6 or 7, so that works out. So with my next pick, could go with Tua. And then aren't really any Miami receivers left to get, but I could go for Mike Gesicki at the tight end position. So I'd have a stack that way. Could use another running back. So I'll cue Hines up. I think he's still. I guess there's a chance he might fall. And then I'll cue up James Robinson and Isaiah Pacheco. Could also go for Khalil Herbert. Get more of that Chicago backfield. So the way things are going now, it looks like I might be able to. Oh, no, Tua just went. So I might just take Nyheim Hines here as my fourth running back. Or I could take Khalil Herbert and just get all that Chicago backfield. Both of them have week 14 buys. So that really wouldn't make the difference. Okay. Nyheim Hines, Khalil Herbert. I'm going to go with Hines here just because it kind of gives me a chance of making an Indianapolis stack kind of in the back end here. Could get a Matt Ryan and then a Paris Campbell. Or Alec Pierce. Oh, Alec Pierce's ADP is above Paris Campbell, which is kind of surprising to me. So the team thus far, Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, Nyheim Hines, running back, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Smith, Robert Woods, Michael Gallup, and Cole Kmet at tight end. I think I'm good on wide receivers for now. Okay, so I think I'm going to angle for this Indianapolis stack. And that's one of the stacks I do like in these best ball large field tournaments, just because you can get it pretty late in these drafts, because Matt Ryan can be had so late, and because the other pieces of the receiving core outside of Michael Pittman you can get late, and you can get Nyheim Hines late. You know, and Frank Reich of the Colts has been reiterating that he doesn't want Jonathan Taylor to get to lead the league in touches this season. And he's been talking up Hines. And we've seen Campbell getting a lot of targets in training camp. And Paris Campbell, when he came into the league, was one of my favorite receiving prospects. He just hasn't been healthy up until this point. But I think, to me, he looks like the number 2 receiving option there in Indianapolis. Alec Pierce, not too terribly excited about. We saw him at the Senior Bowl. Didn't really do anything for us there. But he could be – he could shape up to be a decent deep threat. So 12 picks before our next one. Khalil Herbert, Alec Pierce, Paris Campbell, they are who we have queued up so far. I should probably queue up another tight end. Like I said, there's depth at tight end. I could just wait till my last pick and get a Tyler Conklin, who I think is going to get a ton of targets. Isaiah Likely as well in Baltimore. I like what he's been doing in the preseason. I don't think he's missed. I don't think he's missed a target. You know, if I missed out on Paris Campbell or Alec Pierce, there's Mo Cox at tight end. I could work out the stack that way. Yeah, Tyler Conklin, though, he could be my last pick easy. And I'd be happy with him as my second tight end. Seven picks away. See if there's any other prospects. Like I love Wan'Dale Robinson in New York. It looks like he's in the lead to be the slot man there. Oh, somebody's ears must have been burning. So he's gone. Zamir White doesn't look like Kenyon Drake's going to be the other guy in Las Vegas. It might be White. But then again, might be Brandon Bolden. So he's somebody I could take super late if I wanted to get in on that backfield for whatever reason. I start looking too at players who are on good offenses. Okay. My pick. I'm going to take Paris Campbell with this pick. And so I have my Philly stack and my Indianapolis stack. My Indianapolis stack being Matt Ryan, Nyheim Hines, and Paris Campbell. My Philly stack being A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts. Kind of unorthodox stacks, I would say, but those are the kind of stacks that we like in these large field tournaments. So how many picks I have left? 4 picks, I believe. So now I'm just going to look for players that I like, that I think could pop in fantasy. Taysom Hill is always an interesting pick at tight end, just in case he gets snaps at quarterback. AJ Green could be the number 2 receiver in Arizona for at least their first 6 games. I'm going to take Likely here. My second tight end. I mean, there really hasn't been a receiver behind Rashad Bateman for Baltimore that's done anything of note in the preseason, but Likely has done a lot. So it could be a big Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely year for Baltimore. We've seen them have seasons with 2 fantasy relevant tight ends. What was a few years back when it was Dennis Pitta and I'm trying to remember the other tight end's name. If you remember, let me know. So the team thus far: Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, Nyheim Hines at running back. Wide receivers: Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Smith, Robert Woods, Michael Gallup, Paris Campbell, and then tight ends Cole Kmet and Isaiah Likely. So I'll probably need another running back these next couple picks. Let's see who we're working with. I mean, Gus Edwards could come on later in the season. Mike Davis, though surprisingly, looks like he might start the season as the lead back for Baltimore. So he might be somebody worth queuing up. Jalen Warren looks like the backup. In Pittsburgh. Joshua Kelly looks like the backup in Los Angeles for the Chargers over Isaiah Spiller right now. So I might take a couple of these backs that are on good teams. I think I might go with this Jalen Warren kid just as a kind of trashy pick here. I mean, if something were to happen to Najee Harris, he would be in for the lion's share of carries there in Pittsburgh. And he might work his way into the offense anyway. I mean, he just looks really good this preseason. And with these later picks too, you're wanting to deviate from the norm or what people might be more prone to do in these large field tournaments. You're going to want to take a chance or a few chances with some of these picks in hopes that there are injuries or they just kind of work their way into fantasy relevant positions. So 2 picks left. Probably go for a running back. And just the next best player. See if there's anybody I like. Late here. Like I said, Tyler Conklin. I might just take a third tight end. There's a lot of talk around Tyler Conklin and just how much of a favorite target he is in New York right now to both Joe Flacco and Zach Wilson. So he's somebody I'd feel good about taking with my last pick. Just kind of scouring the end of this draft to see anybody who has some upside that I might have forgotten about. Nobody I'm terribly excited about. So Conklin and Davis are the guys I'm angling in on my last couple picks. for my last pick, actually. So I think it's going to be either Davis or Conklin. And I think I should be able to get both of them. I mean, both of them should be available by the time I pick my last pick. So the team otherwise is Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, Nyheim Hines, Jalen Warren at running back. Wide receivers Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Smith, Robert Woods, Michael Gallup, Paris Campbell, and tight ends Cole Kmet, Isaiah Likely, Molly Cox. Could take another quarterback with my last pick. Maybe like a Desmond Ritter, in case he takes the reins from Marcus Mariota. He'd be a sneaky final pick. Or Joe Flacco. You know, he could end up being the quarterback there for the Jets. I mean, I already have 3 tight ends. But Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan at quarterback. Do I need another quarterback or who did I take? Ritter or Conklin? I think I'm going to go with Conklin. Just because I feel like I'm least solid at the tight end position. Now I've got Cole Kmet, Isaiah Likely, Molly Cox. You don't know if Likely's really going to pan out. It's hard for a first season tight end to do that. Molly Cox, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be inconsistent, though. I think Tyler Conklin will see consistent targets on a week-to-week basis, though. So I feel good about that. So there you have it. Another successful best ball 3 draft. Jalen Hurts, Matt Ryan at quarterback, running back Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, Nyheim Hines, Jalen Warren, and then a slew of other, well, the wide receivers were one of the best group, I think. But there you have it. It's been the Trashman on behalf of rosterwatch.com. Until next time, keep drafting, keep stacking. See you.